brighter. All right, great rise, great rise, great rise. And the moonlights will let you know who this is, you know what it is. It is your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, the first Melanated Monday of 2023. For those of you who recognize it as the beginning of the new year, I hope you have had a safe and enjoyable turning of your new year. Give you all a minute to get on in here. We're going to do what we do the way we always do it. But this year, I have, even though I give you information all the time, we're going to do a little bit differently from now on. It needs to be kind of back to back the way we do things. So tonight's subject will probably lead into next week's subject as well and continue on. So y'all get it, because there's some things that we need to be doing and should have already started that we have not done. Time is it's moving pretty quickly. We might hit on that too, though, because some things are happening with that as well. So we need to be aware. But anyway, I'm gonna give you all a minute or two to get on in here so we can get started. I'm gonna get in and out. You can probably tell I'm feeling a little low as in low energy, just a little tired. That's all. So I want to just give you the information and get you out of here. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a minute to get in here. Also, I want to make note for those of you who have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure you do that. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate, and that's Goddess spelled Godis. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment and share. Okay, I'm trying to do a little something, increase my viewership and subscribership on that platform and see how we move for the new year. Okay. Also, I'll bring this up one more time during the show. If you have not already purchased or received for free, because now I'm giving them away, your copy of this book, The Business of Marriage, Fuck Your Feelings, the truth about every relationship, and would like a copy, please let me know. You can inbox me your information and I will make sure that you get that. People are starting to come in, so thank you very much. Let me know who's there because I can't tell. I just know that somebody has arrived and I do appreciate you. So hopefully you can stay, get some, take some notes, learn a few things. I got a plan, like a plan this year. Who's there? Let me know. I'm like, I see you, but I can't tell who I'm looking at. What's going on, Melissa? Thank you, darling. Appreciate you for being here. Yeah, make sure that you take some notes. I think I'm going to be giving some information that will do everybody some good. It's not specific to any one class of people. If you have a pulse, it's relative. Okay. So we're going to wait a few more minutes for folks to get in here, and then we're just going to start with whoever is here. I want to get in and get out. So wait maybe another minute or so, and then we will get started. Again, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share on my YouTube channel, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. Goddess is spelled like God is, Godis. Please do that. You can go do that right now. You got a minute. You can go do that right now. Okay. I kind of want to go ahead and just get started. The topic is kind of multiple topics, but I classified it as what you should know and what they don't want you to know. There are so many things that are happening all at once in different areas, and we need to understand what it is, why it is, and how we can either utilize it or take advantage of what's happening. One of the biggest things that has been happening is the money situation. A lot of places, if you have noticed since the beginning of CV-19, have stopped accepting cash for their transactions. Then there was the influx of cryptocurrency. We're going to talk about what's going on with the money. Okay, what is transpiring with the money? That's where we're going to start with. There are other aspects we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what's going on with the money. Start with that. So the one thing that I want to talk about are the CBDCs. If you don't know what that stands for in the financial realm, it is the central bank digital currencies. These are different than cryptocurrencies, but you still need to get an understanding as to what they are, why they are, who's in control of it, and all that kind of stuff. So again, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. What it is a digital form of money, obviously, issued by the Federal Reserve. I'm going to make some side notes because you need to understand the importance of the side notes. Okay. So, again, the CBDC, or the central bank digital currency, is a digital form of money which is issued by the Federal Reserve. The side note is the Federal Reserve, contrary to popular belief, is a private corporation. The Federal Reserve is a private corporation. Ain't nothing necessarily federal about it, okay? It is a private corporation. You need to know that, okay? You can actually go and look up its trademark. I did it, okay? So know that it is a private corporation. Back to these CBDCs, it is an intermediary basically between people and their money. So it is the means for people to get access to the money. Okay, normally you would just go to a bank and get it, right? But CBDCs work as like you got to go through me first before you get access to this here. Okay. It is sanctioned, is supported, and backed by good faith and credit of a central government. So, if you're paying attention to that, it was already a contradiction. Okay. So, again, it is sanctioned and supported and backed by good faith and credit of a central government. Like the good faith and government don't really go together, but nonetheless, that's how it's been defined. So we'll work with that. Also, it is not privately created. They cannot be privately created, which is different than the cryptocurrencies. Cryptos are private. They can be made by anybody. They can be mined. These are different. Um, they cannot be created or mined by individuals. Only the Federal Reserve can issue these, which means there is a monopoly on them. The Federal Reserve, again, is a private owned corporation. I just told you that the CBDCs cannot be owned by individuals or privately created, but the Federal Reserve has created them, has issued them. Okay. They hold the same value as the fiat. So, meaning if it's a $5 uh, coin or a $5 currency, is equal to a $5 US bill. If it's $10, it's equal. It's equal. It's the same thing. There is no higher value. There's no higher exchange value or anything like that. It is exactly what it is. Whatever the amount designated to it, that is what it is. Okay. Um, the purpose of it, you can talk about the purpose and the benefits of the CBDCs. Again, that is the central bank digital currencies. The purpose is basically just to serve as a fiat. It is to take the place of the money. It is the method of exchange, the method of purchase. Okay, it is the means of purchase. There are no banks required, no bank account required, because bank accounts are private wallets. They are for individuals. So again, this has nothing to do with individuals. It is strictly federal, a federally created form of money, fiat. Okay, it is not based on individualism at all. Okay, so that is why there is no private wallet, if you will. Um, Other purpose is to enhance the transferability. It's cheaper and faster to use CBDCs. A lot of times when the traditional bank, you want to transfer money from one account to another, there may be a transfer fee. It may take some time. With these, is immediate. There's no fees. It's right away. It also serves as a cross-border exchange, meaning that it can be used anywhere. You can transfer money, you can purchase things from other countries with a click, whatever it is, it's easily transferable. It's stated that it is better under, there's better security for it. Now, again, you have to pay attention. Okay, I told you before, anytime things come about for us that are convenient, there's something else involved in that. Okay, so everything that's convenient ain't good for you. So um, there's less chance of there being a security breach, if you will, security issue, so called, with these. But in that, it's more likely that your transactions, I won't even say more likely, it's an absolute definite that your transactions are traceable. They are also controllable. Okay. There's lower volatility, meaning you don't have to worry so much about the value of it going up or down. There's no fluctuation in it. What it is what it is. It doesn't change based on anything. It's exactly that. Um, Also, and this was a big one to me as far as the purpose, is to preserve the role of the US dollar as the dominant international currency. I'm going to say that again. The purpose of the central bank digital currencies, one of the purposes is to preserve the role of the US dollar as the dominant international currency. So, what does this mean in English? He who holds the purse, or he who holds the money, he who controls the money, controls the world, right? Right now, like the top three means of currency are US dollar, the euro, and I guess it's the yen, whatever China's money base is. Those are the three. So there's some competing going on. With the death of the queen, y'all gonna see some real shaking up of shit happening in Europe. This Europe period. You're gonna see it. Okay. But again, their purpose, the main purpose, in my opinion, I will say, is to preserve the role of the US dollar, is to make sure that it remains the dominant means of exchange internationally. Again, he who controls the purse controls the world. All right. Now, there are some challenges to this type of currency. Some of those challenges include the change of the structure of the U.S. financial system, obviously, whereby the roles and responsibilities of the private sector and central bank change. They're altered in some type of way, especially in regards to the private sector, and that would include like the credit unions and places where you would get like Western Union, um, places like that. They're going to have different responsibilities. How they conduct their business is going to be different. What they are responsible for is going to be different because they have to make sure that their policies still line up in a way that are equal to the policies um, assigned to the regular US dollar. What's going on, Fraser Beats? Thank you, loved one, for being here. I appreciate you. So it's a lot getting ready to happen. That's what I'm telling you. It's a lot getting ready to happen. Other challenges involve conversion. So when you looking to convert other forms of money into the CBDCs, there's going to be some type of issue with that. You're going to have like I said, the private sectors having more challenges with doing the conversions. There are possible impacts on the rules and the policies of the Federal Reserve regarding how they implement the monetary policy. Again, when you switch over the currency system, whatever you're switching it over to has to still be equal to what it's being switched from. It has to make sense. It has to be balanced. It can't be anything, so drastic, because when you have a drastic change in a financial system, it's very easy to get yourself in a place of immediate fall, immediate loss. Right now, we're in the midst of inflation. This has an impact on inflation and vice versa. Okay, just keep your eyes open. Like I said, a lot of things are happening on many aspects and they all go together, but we're not paying attention. I was watching, I can't remember the guy's name, but something on YouTube earlier today dealing with money and micro and macro. He was talking about, I can't remember the term that he was using afterwards, but how people pay attention to the smaller things. They're paying attention to what is right in their face, how they are affected by certain situations, by certain changes right here. But they're not looking at the overall um, infection, if you will, how everything is being impacted by something. We just get the local news. We're not paying attention to the world news. You know what I'm saying? The world news, that's what matters. Who didn't got their foot run over by the truck down the street? So what? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody cares, but that's what they keep throwing in your face. They keep throwing the local stuff in your face so you don't pay attention to what's going on overall. That is what's affecting us. Okay. Um, Also, another challenge would be regarding the Privacy Acts and data breaches, data protection, and crime prevention, because we know it. Even now, people are quick to get access to your business online. People hack into other people's accounts all the time, be it your bank accounts, your YouTube account, Facebook, whatever. They find a way to get access to your private information. And with it being digital, you're going to have those people who um, have that ability and have that time and are being paid even to get your information still. So if they're able to get into the system, the Federal Reserve System and get access to your money, you'll be asked out. Just asked out. That's the bad part. Like there's no replacing it. I'm not even sure if there's a way to um what's the word, like track what happened or who went in your account. It's just gone. Coral Beach, what's going on, family? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. If somebody gets into your digital account in regards to these CBDCs, you just ask out. So that's a problem. All of your private information is just out there. Jermaine, what's going on, love? Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I know you got a lot going on. I'm so proud of you, but thank you for being here. Um, Also, like I said, the cybersecurity breaches happen all the time. So this is a major concern again when you're dealing with digital money, when you're dealing with these types of transactions, and also knowing that the Federal Reserve is the intermediary. Okay, these are, I won't say the people, but this is the organization through which you must go in order to have access to your money. Okay, is no longer I'm just go to the bank and take out what I want. It's not that. You basically are going to have to get permission, if you will, from the Fed to get access to the digital numbers that equate to a dollar amount. And once you get access to that, everything you purchase is being tracked. We take that and make it spiritual when you get to talking about the markings of the beast and the certain systems or whatnot. This is how these things happen. Okay, because if they can have access to what you buy, when you buy, and if you buy, that is the marking. Okay, that's the marking. That is the complete control. And they're making it so that this becomes the form of currency. The form of currency. Remember, I said in the beginning that one of the purposes is to ensure that the US dollar remains dominant internationally. Okay, if that happens in this form with these CBDCs, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. If you would like to call in, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to do so. 770-906-5271. I see you, DJ. Thank you, love, for being here. I appreciate you. 770-906-5271. Right now, we are discussing money, basically the future of it. How is it going to exist? What is it going to look like? How do we have access to it? What who else is controlling it? Because it's going to be more controlled than ever. That's going to be a really bad situation. Another one of the challenges about this type of currency is that there's no investment value whatsoever. Like I said, there's only an exchange. It's what is it called? Arbitration or something. Let me arbitrage, currency arbitrage. So what that is basically just exchanging one form of currency to another. Um, it's not. It's like taking a quarter and getting two dimes and a nickel. That's it. You still only got 25 cents, right? There is no investment. It has no other value. It's not going to go up in value. You can't put a whole bunch of money behind it and think you're going to make something else because you're going to make exactly what you put in. That's it. There is no opportunity for financial gain or growth in this. Okay. Miss Carla, thank you, loved one, for being here. I so appreciate you all the time. I will go back over these if you like. I'm going to move on though. There are also two types of these CBDCs, and they're wholesale and retail. The wholesale deals with the banks and the financial institutions, whereas the retail deals more with the consumers and the business. So, with the wholesale, that equates to the physical reserves that a like a regular bank would deposit. So, the banks, as we know at this point, they have a certain amount, I guess, of fiat that they are responsible for having in a reserve. That reserve is insured, right? FDIC insured, um, but they have to have this certain amount of reserve available for whatever reason. Um, Banks have banks, so when you go to whatever bank you um, bank with, know that that bank has a bank, and the bank that that bank has is the Federal Reserve. Okay, reminding you that the Federal Reserve ain't no more federal than I am. Okay, the Federal Reserve is a private corporation that has a trademark. Okay, we're gonna talk about all of that, because it's good stuff. I'm gonna have to bring you in a little bit at a time, because we're gonna get more and more detailed in what I'm talking about. We're just not gonna do it tonight, okay? But I just want to put it on your mind for a little bit. The bank, under the wholesale, the banks are responsible for maintaining the policies and requirements of any bank. That includes paying interests on the reserve balances. This is under the wholesale only. Again, the retail, excuse me, deals with the consumer and business. So these transactions are those that are directly from the consumer to the business. They can be token based. So if they become token based, that makes them private. Again, when we talked about it earlier, we said that CBDCs cannot be privately owned or created. They're not private, but there's always, as I've said twice already, there's like loopholes. There's ways of making them private, depending on what it is you're doing, which again, dealing with the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned corporation. Let that stick in your head, okay? I'm saying it over and over again because you need to understand that it is a privately owned corporation. Private, okay? It is no more federal than I. So, anyway, keep that in mind. With it being private or having the ability to be private, it can also be anonymous. Okay, so that means whatever transaction goes on between the person and the business, if it is token based, then it can be done like a ghost. It's not so traceable as the others are. If it's done as an account based, then there is a requirement of a digital identification, which means it's traceable. So if it is, if like having to log into an account, you have to put the account number or whatnot. Um, that is your identification. That identification is traceable. So whatever you do, whatever your transaction is, everybody gonna know it. Everybody. You have to pay attention to what's happening here. Okay. The change of currency is becoming or will become a mandatory change. It has already started where people or certain companies, businesses are not accepting fiat, they're not accepting cash. There will be there are some companies now that accept cryptocurrency, and that might be all that they accept. There's going to be a time where all of the currency everywhere, not just in the US, everywhere is going to be based on these central bank, what are they, CBDCs? These central bank digital currencies. Central bank digital currencies are created and issued by the Federal Reserve. They are traceable. No one else can create them. They cannot be mined. They cannot be privately owned. It is a monopoly on money. It's a monopoly. The purpose is to make sure that the US maintains its role in being the dominant international um, currency holder. The US is dominant right now. You can go to China and wherever else, take your money, and you're going to get the most for your money using US dollars. In order to make that stick, if you will, this type of currency is almost mandatory in this financial system for the U.S. Coco, what's going on, love? When I see you, it's mandatory, so it's going to happen. So pay attention, okay? Stop spending your money on stuff that just don't matter. Start looking into um, these other forms of currency, these cryptocurrencies, those you can invest in. I would advise you to start looking into that. Do that, okay? Get a little bit more over an understanding on what these CBDCs are. Again, central bank digital currencies. Understand what they are, how they affect everything and everybody, everywhere, okay? That is important. Again, for those of you who are just joining me, I appreciate you. And what we are talking about is everything, is what you need to know and what they don't want you to know. Okay, we're going to give you some information. So hopefully you were able to take some notes. I'm going to be talking about a couple different things. I wanted to start it off with that money. That money is important. Also, I can just throw this in there real quick as far as business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. A lot of entrepreneurs are also beginning to use cryptocurrency. They're also using alternative means of money. You'll find that more people are becoming self sufficient in their careers because they're out on their own. More people are making more money not going to a job because they have the ability to create their own. I would implore everyone to look into a skill that you can utilize to create income for yourself so you don't have to go clock in anywhere. Okay. Um, Create your own stability. People are getting laid off, and when this money thing change over, it's going to be a massive layoff of people. Know that. Okay. But create your own form of income, multiple streams if you can. I would implore you to do so. All right. Moving on, I wanted to discuss also own versus rent. And this can be real estate or vehicles, whatever. The difference and the pros and cons on a couple of things. We're just going to do like more so like the real estate and vehicles. Okay, so real estate, I'm not going to go too deep in it. If you have any questions about real estate, please consult a professional. I'm not one anymore. I used to be in Ohio, but that ain't what I'm doing. So anyway, in dealing with real estate, people are right now are looking to be homeowners. They want to have their own property. They want to walk into their home with their key, not have no landlord, and all that kind of stuff. Have the right to utilize their space how they want. I can dig it because these landlords are getting real trifling out here. The inflation has caused them to increase rents beyond any type of rationale. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. I've experienced myself. There's no stability in the rental market because of it, and because the job market, even though there may be a lot of jobs available, they're not paying enough. They're not paying enough for people to be able to sustain their regular living. Um, when you own your home, there's more of a stability. Like I said, there's more of a freedom. There are It's a legacy that you can pass down when you own your own home. One thing that people don't do, and I want to put this out, is when they purchase their home, when they purchase real estate, or they go into the mindset of wanting to buy real estate, they forget about the land. They forget about the land because they're looking at the house. They may look at the space. They may look at the yard, right? They'll look at the square footage of the yard. Oh, it's a big yard. I can plant, blah, 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 blah. But if you do not own the land, that's a whole different contract. If you do not purchase the land, you are renting the land via taxes. I will say it again. If you are not, if you have not purchased the land, you are renting the land. You may own the property that sits upon it, but the land itself, you are paying rent on. You are paying to utilize it. And that's what it says. You have the right to utilize. When you purchase real estate, you have the right to utilize the space above and below the property itself. You can utilize the air, you can utilize the soil, you can utilize whatever is up under, or in the soil underneath your particular property. Utilize it. If you don't own the land, you are paying property tax or land tax. You are renting that. Why do you think it is even possible for, well, this is one of the reasons why people pay their mortgages but don't pay property tax and get thrown out of their houses? Because you didn't pay your rent. People are getting thrown out of their houses for hundreds of dollars, hundreds, sometimes even less, because the property tax, the land tax, has not been paid. Because sometimes there's an assumption, well, I own my home, the land is included. No, it's not included as your ownership. It's included as your usership. You can borrow it. You can use it, but if you don't buy this, when they get ready to come and kick you out of the property, get your property, since you can't get your property off of the land that you are not paying for, I'm just going to throw you out. I'm going to foreclose upon your property because your property is on my land. See, that's the slick part. Your property is on land that you don't own because somebody else owns it, supposedly, right? It may not even be that somebody else owns it, but you don't. Somebody is responsible for paying a tax on it. If you don't purchase this land, get it completely surveyed, how much of this land belongs to you is another. I can't even think what type of survey it is, but it's a different type of survey other than what normally comes with the legal descriptions. A whole different type of survey. But you have to make it known, make it legal that you are the owner of the land upon which the property sits. Okay? Please don't forget that. I hate to see, people's homes being put up for auction and being put up for tax lien sales, because that's all it is. I have literally seen people lose their homes for less than $100. And I am not kidding. Less than $100 because of tax liens, because they didn't pay taxes. If they'd have paid for the land, this wouldn't be an issue. Don't let it be you. Okay. For those of you, such as myself, that rent, of course, there's not that problem, but there's also instability, because when you have a landlord, be it an individual or a corporation, that owns the property, the space in which you are renting, you're on borrowed time all the time. They can tell you when they want you to get up out of there. They can file all kind of whatever to get you out of there. So there's a lot of instability that comes with um, being a renter, although there are less obligations to being a renter. There's more stability in being a home owner and a land owner. Before you decide to purchase land, make sure you know everything about the land. A lot of people are in this mode now of just buying land wherever they find it. They found a sidewalk, they want to buy the sidewalk. Okay, well, how is that sidewalk zoned? And I'm being funny with that, but they don't know the zoning of it. They don't know what they can put on it. They don't know if there's any, some of people don't even know if there's any previous liens on it, if it's swamp land, whatever. Do your research, do your diligent research, and understand and understanding what it is you're purchasing, what you can do with it. You may purchase a land that appears to be in a residential area, but that particular plot is zoned commercial or it's zoned industrial, meaning you cannot build your house here. You have to put a store here, or you have to put a warehouse here because of how it's zoned. Now you can go through the process of trying to get it rezoned, but you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for it. So make sure you have done your due diligence and gotten the information necessary before you buy the land. It's a lot. Is this plot transferable? Sometimes people will make it so, like previous owners or whatever, make it so that the land is only transferable to other family members, or um, sell it with stipulations. I can't remember what it's called, but people can put stipulations on the land, the type of use. This can only be sold if this type of structure is put on it. It can only be used for nonprofit organizations. If somebody puts a house on it, it got to go immediately. And if it's written up that way, guess what? You got to go. Like, you got to go. So do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing and why you're doing it before you actually start doing it. Okay. Um, understand what real estate is in itself, and real estate refers just to the property that is immovable. So the home, the structure, is what is considered the real estate, literally. Of course, the land upon which it sits is also immovable, um, but it's more so referring to the structure that is sitting upon the land. Now, are there exceptions? I have seen it. Okay, we're not talking about like mobile homes, nothing like that. When back home, like many years ago, I have never ever seen this ever in my life happen. But in the city, okay, I lived in the city, suburb. I'm sorry, in the suburbs. And this particular homeowner was moving, and They wanted their whole house to move with them. They wanted the whole house to be moved, dug up out the ground. I saw it. If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. But they had the entire house lifted out of the ground and moved. Can you do this? Can you move an immovable item? Clearly, you can. Is it recommended? It is not. If you got that kind of money and that's what you want to do and you got someplace to put it, that's on you. But real estate normally refers to um, property that is immovable. That was still considered immovable, but they just found a way to do it. Anyway, moving forward. Um, when you're dealing with ownership of, let me go back because this got put in my head. When you get a mortgage, and we'll talk about this in depth another time, but this something for you to think about. When you get a mortgage, when you get finance to purchase a home, here's what the process normally looks like. You see a home that's being sold, you either interact directly with the seller or you go to a bank and you say, Bank, this seller is selling their home. I want it. It's being sold for $100,000. I want a loan for this home, right? That's the process. Bank says, okay, we'll give you a loan for $100,000. But the bank never gives you a check. You don't walk out the bank with $100,000. You walk out the bank with a stack of papers that says you owe $300,000 on $100,000 loan that you're going to pay off in 30 years or so. This is what your interest rate's going to be. This is whom you're going to pay this. All of your stipulations are in this contract, right? That only you sign. It's a unilateral contract. You're going to pay us this amount of money and on this day every month. And if you do not, then we have the right to come back and take that property from you. Okay? What's happening here? Like I said, we're going to go into this deeper later. A couple things have happened that we don't pay attention to. A contract must involve two signatures, the buyer and the seller, right? The buyer and the seller, or the person who's receiving money, the person who's giving money. It has to have both of these names on the contract. It's a mandatory. It cannot be a unilateral contract. That means that it's one-sided. I'm going to give you money, you sign it. Where's your signature? Where's the person who's giving you the money? Where's their signature? They didn't sign off on anything, which makes that contract not a real contract. But we don't know that. We don't ask any questions. We just want this money. We want this house, right? But the bank just said, sign this. You owe us $300,000 off a $100,000 loan that you never actually got, but now the bank owned the house that you want. And you're basically paying rent to them. So what happened? What happened? The bank bought your property, and banks are technically not able to purchase property. That entity cannot purchase property, but you have given it permission as you have signed off saying that it's like you're giving life to something that did not have life. You are making it real. Again, we're not going to get too deep into that. Phoenix, what's going on, loved one? Thank you for being here. We are giving you permission to act on my behalf, if you will. I just want the house. I don't care about nothing else. How much is it? What's the interest rate? Is it It's an adjustable, fixed. Okay, but okay, but when can I move in? When does it transfer? All that. That's all we look at. But you have been bamboozled. That whole transaction was one-sided. And once they have so-called giving you this house or giving you the loan, somebody had to be paid, correct? So there was a seller. The seller had to receive some money from somewhere. You know, it didn't come from your hand. It didn't come from your hand. It came from somewhere to the seller. So if somebody gave the seller some money to purchase that house, let me repeat, if somebody gave the seller money to purchase that house, then that house has been purchased. It's been bought already. Money has been given. A transaction has occurred. Why then are you, as the borrower, the buyer, responsible for paying a bank for a loan that you never got? I'm gonna let y'all ponder on that. We're gonna move on. Okay. So again, in talking about renting and owning, we're talk about the vehicles now. Okay. When you purchase a vehicle, I'm gonna give y'all some game. When you purchase a vehicle, it is also financed, right? For the most part, unless you got cash and you can just go in there like that and handle your business. Otherwise, you are financing it, meaning somebody is putting money up for that, right? You're saying, Mr. Bank, I see this Jeep over here. I want this Jeep. It's $60,000. I need that there. Bank says, okay, we will give you this loan for $60,000. Let you get that Jeep. You can roll up out of here tomorrow. We'll make sure everything is good for you tomorrow. You will have the $60,000 Jeep. Again, a transaction has occurred. Money has been transferred from the finance company, the finance institution, to whomever or whatever holds that property. So the dealership, money went from the bank to the dealership, and you got the keys, right? So if you got the keys because that transaction happened, the bank has paid for your $60,000 truck. It's been paid. Why then are you paying a monthly note? See, now in our minds, we would say because they did it on my behalf. I got a loan from them. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what we used to do. And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. It would make sense, but it doesn't. Okay. It would make sense, but it doesn't because you were never actually given the money. You were never given the money. You didn't make or enter into a contract. There wasn't a bilateral contract. If it's a unilateral contract, it is not a valid contract, period. So there are ways, I'm going to give you this real quick. I'm not going to go into any detail. You can look it up for yourself. There are ways to retrieve any monies that you have paid out for something that you have been financed. Okay. If it's been financed, it has been paid for. If you pay again, that's voluntary. That's totally up to you. But there are ways to legally and lawfully retrieve any monies that you have put into a purchase of something that was financed. For your car, for your house, whatever you have financed, there are ways. There are forms that you can look up through the IRS that will allow you to get that money back. There are forms that will allow you to make purchases without using money. And this is available through the IRS. It is a 1099-A and a 1099-C. I'm not going through any details. Look it up for yourself. Okay? 1099-A, 1099-C. But yeah, we are not educating ourselves enough to not be stuck and tripped up in this system on so many levels. Certain things that we should not be doing, that we're not responsible for doing, but because we have been told that we are for so long and conditioned to be live, that this is what's supposed to be happening, this is the way it's supposed to happen, this is what we do. So again, when you're looking at owning or renting, particularly a car, a vehicle, put it that way, I would say, and this is just me, your purpose is to have access to the asset, right? You need to have access to the asset without incurring the debt. A lot of people now are renting vehicles or leasing vehicles or whatever, just renting, because you have privately owned companies that will lease their cars out to you for months at a time. Why not? Why not utilize that? You don't have to hold insurance on it. You don't have to get a registration. You don't have to pay any taxes. You don't have to pay any fees on it. You just utilize a car. You don't have to maintain any maintenance on it. You just utilize a car. You utilize the asset without incurring the debt. What we need to be doing as of already is focusing on getting out of debt, not establishing credit per se, but getting out of debt, no longer owing people or organizations anything, no longer continuing to be the borrower when we are supposed to be the lender, no more continuously being the tail when we are supposed to be the head. Okay, some things are happening. There are some switches happening, and some switches need to be pulled out on some folks. What's going on, G Walker? I see you. And again, you celebrated an Earth Day yesterday, so happy Earth Day once again. Say happy Earth Day to G Walker, everybody. Um, but yeah, our focus as of already should be to get out of debt. Quit owing people. Don't owe nobody nothing. Okay? If you paid it off, leave it paid off. If you have to have a mortgage, if you think you have to have a mortgage, look into it first and then learn how to get your money back, because you can. Okay? So I'm not gonna go through all the details with that, not tonight. But this year, this is what we're gonna be talking about. These types of things. Okay. No, it's not my birthday. It's one of my viewers' birthday, one of my friends' birthdays. But Phoenix was acknowledging you over here, G Walker. You said Black's Law Dictionary tell you meaning of absolutely tell you the meaning of contracts. Absolutely, start reading some things. People start reading, start studying. Okay, we're in a system one that we shouldn't even be in. I'm gonna leave it at that. But while you're in it, figure out how to maneuver in it to your benefit. Am I telling you go do something that is against the law? I am absolutely not. Am I telling you to risk something? I am absolutely not. What I'm telling you is to inform yourself, give yourself some knowledge and some power on how to maneuver within it so you can get the hell out of it. Okay? Period. Also, something for you to know and understand with your vehicle or anything that you register, and you can look this up in Black's Law Dictionary as well. When you register something, you are putting the state in your shit. Let's just be clear about it. You are giving over authority of whatever it is you are registering over to the state. This includes your vehicle, your license, Your children, I said it out loud, the birth certificates, these are registrations. This is why when something goes down and the state intervenes and comes and takes it away, because you have given them permission to do so. Registering it says that you have authority over this here thing that I'm going to utilize. You have authority over it. So whatever you desire to do with it, you have the right to do that. That's what the registration is. I'm registering my child to the state. I'm registering my car to the state. I am registering my license to the state. You have authority. This is what you're saying. And if you tell somebody, if you tell, officers or whatever, like when they, I don't want to go there. When you say that you understand something, when you're dealing with legal matters, you are also saying that you are standing under the authority of something else. Word is everything. Wording is everything. That's why it's important to read, comprehend, and apply knowledge. Okay? Things are changing drastically and quickly. I'm just touching things a little bit at a time, but I said, throughout this year, we're going to be doing some things. I may actually have like a whole webinar on how to's on whatever. But these are some things that we need to be really focusing on, paying attention to. Okay. The last subject that I brought up was dealing with marriage, the legal marriage versus a lawful union. What a lot of people don't know that there's a difference between what is legal and what is lawful. Please look it up. There is a difference between what is legal and what is lawful. What is legal deals strictly with commerce. Legal things deal strictly with commerce. What does that mean? It's about the money, honey. It's about the money. Okay? It's finding a way to monetize everything. If it can be made an entity that can create funds or where it can be billed or whatever, then it is made legal. Any kind of way that I can find to extract money from you, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it legal. Oh, you growing plants over there? I'm going to make it legal so I can make some money. That's why marijuana has become legal, right? Legal because there's money to be made, there's money to collect. So anything that is dealing with legality deals with commerce. There is some form of exchange, there is a monetary exchange happening. Okay. When you get married legally, you have to purchase licensing. Why do you have to purchase a license to get married? Why do you have to do that? You have to purchase the use of either an attorney or a judge or a minister or whatever to tell you what to say to your partner to make it right. You have to pay for filing fees, um, your dresses, your tuxedos, all of this stuff. Whatever you're doing, you're paying for it. It's commerce. It's about that money, right? That marriage legally, again, look it up, Black's Law Dictionary, and how people, human beings, us, are perceived legally. We are looked upon and categorized as corporations, businesses, if you will. So an individual is a sole proprietor, right? Once they have become married to another individual slash sole proprietor, they have merged their corporations and have created a partnership. That partnership is being taxed as a corporation. You're a business. Hence, the reason why I wrote this book, The Business of Marriage. Fuck your feelings. The truth about every relationship. If you would like a copy of this book, it is free now. I am giving them away. Inbox me. I will make sure you get a copy. If you would like to donate, you're more than welcome. But I'm giving this away. Inbox me with your information and I will make sure you get it. Okay? But it discusses this type of thing, how every relationship is built on a business structure. So when you are getting legally married, you have created another business entity. You are a partnership. You have created another form of commerce. It's about the money, honey. Again, you have people that strictly believe that this is the way you're supposed to do it. Like it has to happen that way. It has to go down that way in order for it to be lawful, right? Some people believe that, and that's fine. If that's what you would like to do, you are more than welcome to do that. Those then there are those people who overstand that a lawful union focuses on the spirit of the law, the intention of the law, the perfection of it. Marriage outside of the legality is the coming together, the union of two people. It's a union, right? It's an agreement that these two individuals are going to do and be what they said they're going to do and be for the length of time that they said they're going to do and be it, right? It is lawful when you have people who live together as husband and wife, and this is what they do. They practice this. They are engaged with one another as husband and wife. Their intent is to be husband and wife. Everything they do is as one, right? They are lawfully married. Are they legally married? Don't have to be, but they are lawfully married. So they have made a conscious decision every day to participate in a certain manner that represents this union based on the spirit of law. The spirit of law is based on natural law, it's based on God's law. I ain't gonna go too deep, but this is what I'm saying. This is what it is. It's based on common natural law. Understand also that the laws that we live by, the laws of the land, were based on natural law. Now they done threw some other shiggity in it. Okay, we know that some other stuff that got thrown in there, other statutes which are not laws, but they've been thrown in there. Okay, we know that, but everything was based on natural law. Okay. Jennifer, what's going on, loved one? I see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Let me read your comments and then I will open the phone lines up one more time before we get out of here. G Walker says some of them are out here, is it licking tail and giving head? Oh, okay. But they aren't trying to be the head. Come out of Babylon. I can't with you. Come out of Babylon, Tiniqua, and the same damn time old little ones were okay. I can't with you, G. You said exactly. And any or everything that you do, uh, your oppressor wants to capitalize on you. Will they want to capitalize on your ignorance? That's absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. It's all about the money. And if you don't have an understanding on what's going on around here, then you will continuously be paying and you will continuously be paying. Okay. So if you would like to call in before we get out of here, feel free 770-906-5271. Phoenix, you said you'd rather pay you rather pay for a legal marriage? Is that what you're saying? For a legal marriage as opposed to a lawful one? Um, okay. 770-906-5271. What's going on, Quan? I see you, loved one. And Anthony, I see you. Thank you both for being here. I appreciate you both. I was just trying to get through. I was getting through before I keep going back and forth with saying hello. Okay. But I think that I have touched everything that I intended to touch. I wanted to make sure you all got the information. I always try to make sure that you are edified with what I'm bringing to you. It's always for a purpose, right? Even if you don't get it at that moment, it's always for a purpose. Please make sure you go back and rewind if you miss any part. Oh, you that's fine. I accept payment. You need to call or send me your information. Inbox me. Like when we get off here, just send me your information and I'll send you. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. Y'all give me 1 second. I'll do it right now. If you want to send a little gift, you can. This is Cash App. So you can do that. Okay. If you would like to Cash App a gift for this book, it is $one healer, the number one, then healer, HEALER. If you would like to donate, you may do so. And it's appreciated. Not necessary, but it's appreciated. Okay. So if there are no questions, no comments, no concerns, I'm going to make a left. Okay. I hope you all have like I said, been edified, have gotten some information that is useful and that you use the information. Please share this video. Okay, share it. Don't just get it and, that was a good show and then keep it moving and you keep doing the same shit you were doing before you clicked on. Okay, the whole point is to give you some information, to give you some tools to re-empower you. You got to do something with it. Knowing it and not applying it means nothing. Okay. So, having said that, you know what it is. I love you. I love you on purpose. I love you on purpose with purpose. And until we meet again, peace. All right. Yeah. Send me a note, Phoenix, if you want it. Well, you obviously do. So send me a note, or if you want to text the information to that number, you can 770-906-5271. You can do that 770-906-5271. You can send a text and I will get that out to you this week. All right. Okay. I will talk with you all very soon. Stay safe.